Hi, I'm Steve Sapato, and I'm the most famous unfamous speaker in America and damn fine business and speaking coach. So, if what you're looking for are 14 tips on how to be a great virtual presenter, you've come to the right place. So, that's what I've been asked many times. Can you give us tips on how to be this, Steve? Now, I can give you lessons, I can teach you how to do it, but yep, I can give you 14 tips. You interested in becoming a top quality virtual presenter? This is a good foundation to help you do it. So if you look, I'm going to read through these real quick. These are the 14 things, and then you can see if you want to stay tuned to find out how they all work to make you the best and most sought after virtual presenter available. Be entertaining and interesting. Your company is the least important part of your story. People want to know now that you're offering what you're offering to them. People want to know what you're offering to them. Give them the things that you will be teaching or offering. Like for here, 14 things that are going to help you be a top quality virtual presenter. Ask, and storytize to keep them involved. We'll talk about storytizing later. Handouts in a white paper, right? Involve your audience with actions, including things like QR codes, joined by text white papers, right? Important for you to know is your voice is your tool, and your your face is their permission. You get that? Your face is their permission. We'll talk about that a little bit later also. But be in control of the meeting, and which you allow things to happen, but you control what is happening, and always start and end on time. Have a moderator, have a timekeeper, have an agenda, and have a note taker. Not necessarily in those orders, of course, right? But you need all of those. And remember why you're having this event, meeting, summit, and always end with an action for your audience. It's important that you do that. So let's start off with, first of all, it says always begin with your name and contact info. And I'm going to do some basic housekeeping, which is if you're going to lead or join in a meeting, make sure your attire is right for the event, right? You're going to a business meeting, probably. You're going to a business networking group. Dress the part. You still want to look professional. People still want to work with a professional, but always begin with your name and contact info. Hi, I'm Steve Sapato, the most famous unfamous speaker in America. You can reach me at steve@stevesapato.com, right? I don't care if you're jumping in to ask a question. I don't care if you're jumping out after asking your question. Always end with the most important information you have to offer, which is who are you? How do they get in touch with you? Hey, thanks for answering my question. I'm Steve Sapato, steve@stevesapato.com. That's what, 3 seconds? Use that information to make sure that people know who you are. So it's vital when you're always doing a virtual presentation how to get in, right? But what makes someone entertaining and interesting? I don't want you to do a song and dance. I don't want you to jump up and down, and I don't want you to do magic tricks. No, nothing of that, right? What makes someone entertaining and interesting is how you present what you have to present. It's vital to your success to make sure people listen. They want to listen to you, that it's important for them to listen to you, that you've given them reasons. Do you want to be a great presenter? Do you want to be great virtually and have people hire you? I just had the Meeting Planners International say, hey, we are looking for people who are certified because then we know they've gone to extra training. Now, there are other companies out there who said, you belong to our organization for decades, and so we're just going to give you a sticker that certifies that you're a great virtual presenter. No, 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 no. Just because you've been good on stage doesn't mean you'll be good in front of the camera now, does it? Right? We've seen lots of stage actors that didn't transition to the movie or TV screens. We've seen lots of TV actors that couldn't transition to movies, and lots of movie actors that couldn't transition to TV. There are different techniques that make things work for you. You have to learn those techniques. That's why I'm giving you these 14 tips. Okay. Why should people listen? Why do they want? Why are they going to stay to the end? Right? What will you teach them? I have 14 items that I'm going to be teaching you. If when you looked at that, you went, "Oh, I want to know about this one." Sometimes you want to put the most important one at the bottom so that people stay to the whole presentation, right? What things will they learn? So I gave you the 14, and that's what you will be able to connect with and hopefully learn some of as we go through these today. It's a real short presentation, not designed to be an in-depth training, but to give you helpful hints, tips as people have asked for. And what will they gain? Well, hopefully, when you're a great virtual presenter, People will ask for you. People will request you. People will want you to lead their meetings. They go, I want Steve to lead the meetings. He's always a great guy to have there. He's always entertaining. He makes the meetings fun, and he gets the information across. That's important, right? And so hopefully you will be more in demand. And that's what we're after, isn't it? Remember, stop boring presentations. But Steve, my material is boring. No, your material is dry. You are boring. I know, that's sad. It's harsh, but it's true, right? I presented lots of boring material and hopefully kept it entertaining enough to get the people the knowledge they wanted. Special education, additional training, CRMs, that kind of stuff, so that people can learn what they have to learn. Okay? What have you been taught that absolutely is not true? So, my elevator speech is vital to my success. No, no, it's not, right? Not even close. And we'll talk about that. But people care about what I do, Steve. No, they don't. No. Here, get used to these two answers to those. No. People only care about what you can do for them. I don't care that you're an insurance salesman. I don't care that you're a realtor. I don't care that you're an attorney. What can you do for me? I may not need an attorney today. They go, well, then, Steve, it's important for me to say I'm an attorney. My office has been around for 37 years, and that I've been practicing law for no, I don't care. Here's what I want to know. When you ask me a specific question about being an attorney, you say, hey, I'm Steve Sapato. I'm XYZ. I'm an attorney at law, and I've been an attorney in the state of Florida for 17 years. So here's what I want to know. Do you have a living will right now? Do you have a living will? So anybody who has a living will, go ahead and raise your hand. Or we don't have. I don't have one. You see, that's how I know then. I go, ooh, I might need to contact that person. So it's not that, hey, I've been in business for 47 years. It's not that I've had this. It's not that I do that. It's not that my credentials are this, and this. No. What can you do for me? And we'll talk about that at great length if you want to. So throw away your elevator speech and get back to asking people and showing people what you can do for them. Hey, would you like to grow your business? Let me ask you a question. If you could grow your business by 10% this month alone, would you be interested? And people are like, ooh, how do I do that? You see, that got their attention. They don't care. They don't care whether, I could be an attorney. I could be a dog catcher. If I can help them build their business by 10% this month, they're going to listen to what I have to say. Get me? Okay. Enough on enough on that. It's people only care about what you can do for them. But how's that saying go? People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's what it's all about, right? But here, ask, and storytize. Storytizing, you'll see the trademark. That's my signature program on how to tell stories. But asking, you have to get an audience reaction once every minute. Can you get an audience to react once every minute? Yeah. You see, I just got you to react, whether you can or whether you can't, right? You might have been nodding your head, even if it was internally, right? Can you hold an audience, get an audience to react once per minute? Can you? I hope you said yes, right? And go ahead and think it out loud. How do you think it out? You say yes. or by telling them a story about them. You go, how do I tell them a story about them, Steve? I don't know them. That's the whole point. You see, most of us are taught in our storytelling courses that people are selling like wildfire around here. Storytelling, they tell you how to tell a story better and with more verbs and more adjectives and more bull. I didn't finish that, but yeah, you get my point, right? Storytizing is all about me taking my story, putting it into your speaker blender, pulling it out, and now I tell a story, my story, but using your memories, right, and your emotions. It's vital that you learn how to do that. Storytizing is a vital entity in your being successful as being a speaker, but being a virtual speaker primarily. So ask is the key to your success. Always ask us questions, right? Ask us. And remember that storytelling is for bedtime, while storytizing is for audience engagement. Vital for you to understand that. Audience engagement. Isn't that what you want to do? You want to engage more people so that they go, man, I want to hear Steve speak again. Man, I want to be at Steve's meeting. Man, I want to follow me. When you get to be that person, people will start demanding you. And that's what it's all about, right? So be the leader in virtual skills by doing what others are not doing. You go, what does that mean, Steve? Well, here, white paper handouts. If you're doing a long presentation, you should have 3, 4, 5 white paper handouts throughout your presentation, something that they can download by going to a link. So you would give them a link, maybe on-screen link, so they can put in that link and download whatever information you're trying to present. Makes sense? That way they're involved. Now they might stop listening to you for the next 30 seconds while they're typing that in, but you have to gauge that in terms of your ability to present. And we'll talk about that in the actual course. All right. And so what I want you to know then is there's involving them by using QR codes or join by text. So if I said, hey, by the way, if you want to learn more about being a certified virtual presenter, you will go to my QR code. So go ahead, scan my QR code, get your phone out, go ahead and scan my QR code, and it'll take you right to the website that talks to you about what you're going to learn as a certified virtual presenter and how important it is for you to becoming known as a certified virtual presenter. Zapato Certified Virtual Presenter will have lots of pull in the coming 18 months that we're going to be driving training, okay? There's also, that's the QR code, there's also join by text. So let me ask you a question before we get there. You have a speaker superpower, do you? Speaker superpower. In other words, how do you move people? How do you motivate people? How do you get people to take action? That's your superpower. How do you involve your audience? Would you like to know what your superpower is? We all have one. You just haven't had to discover it yet. And now you're on the journey with these tips to find out what your speaker superpower is. If you're really serious, then you need to pull out your phone, right? And text me. And you do that by texting MORE, M-O-R-E, to 66866. That's how you get my speaker superpower white paper to help you discover what your speaker superpower is so you can gain more audience attention, gain more audience approval, and get more speaking opportunities. Be better at presenting. MORE, M-O-R-E, to 66866. You see, I just involved you again. So I involved you with the QR code, right? I could have involved you with a link, and then I involved you with the joinbytext.com. Either way, I just involve you in the talk. And that's what we're talking about. Learn to be the leader in virtual skills by doing what others are not doing. So here's what I want you to take away, right? Number one is your voice is your tool. Don't have a boring voice. Don't do a monotone. Anybody here do audiobooks? If you do an audiobook, if you read audiobooks, you understand that it's the inflection, it's the good audio people who are the readers who get paid big money to read audiobooks. And if you've ever had a bad reader, you don't even finish that book. And that's what goes on here on a virtual training environment. If you're boring with your vocal tonalities, vocal qualities, people are like, oh man, I can't sit through an hour of this person. And so it's important that you learn how to use your voice for all these other things. And certainly I can teach that if you need it. But number two is your face is their permission. What does that mean, Steve? Well, it means this. If I tell you a kind of a funny joke or a story or give you an anecdote, and then I smile or I laugh, it gives you permission to smile or laugh, right? And that's what we all want, isn't it? We all want permission to like the person who is speaking or presenting. We want to like you. We want to get information from you. We want to be part of your group. And that's what it's all about. We want to belong so that we get the right information in context. And so your face, how you move your face, what you do with your face, is all about giving the audience permission, gaining their knowledge, gaining their becoming likable, and gaining their trust. That's what we want to do, isn't it? Number three, control the meeting. And by that, I mean, if you're on with a whole bunch of people, now you can mute everybody, but sometimes people want to ask questions. So when they ask, make sure when you give them permission, you say, hey, Steve, I'm only giving you 1 minute to ask your question, and then we'll mute you, okay? And Steve goes, sure, no problem. Now, when I'm asking and they go unmute, I go, all right, so I'm Steve Zapato, the most famous, unfamous speaker in America. You can reach me at steve@stevezapato.com. Here's my question, blah, blah, blah. Hey, thanks for letting me ask my question. Steve Zapato at steve@stevezapato.com. Beginning and ending uses 5-7 seconds of your time, and you still got 50 seconds in the middle. Important that they remember who you are. You want them to remember you. And then controlling the meeting. So if I'm in control, I say, okay, Steve's got a minute. But you know, there are some people who drone on and on and on. There are some people who want to show how smart they are by taking control of that question and talking for 5 or 6 minutes. Nope. You said I give you 1 minute, and at the end I'll mute you. Do not vary from that. right? I mean, if they're going to wrap it up, so you're looking at them, they're looking at you, and you might go, okay, time's up. And they're like, I know. Okay. And then they're going to stop. And you can know when they're winding down. But if they don't stop, you can interrupt them saying, hey, Marianne, I gave you a minute. Your time's up. So I need you 5 seconds to wrap this up. If she's not giving me her name and her information at the end, she's done. Mute, click, you're done. Goodbye. Have a great day, Marianne. I'm in control of the meeting, and people will respect me for keeping people on track. They lose respect if you let them go on and on, because over in the chat window, it will say, why are you letting this person talk? You said a minute, blah, blah, blah. People want to know their limitations. It's like child rearing or dog training. If they know their limitations, they're happier when they live within them. Sometimes they want to break out, but those are the rare times. Same with a meeting. People want to know what's going on. All right, number 4, start and end on time. Always, always, always. I was on a summit the other day, or a workshop the other day, and they asked me to come in, and I was one of the presenters. And they said, Steve, it's 2 minutes after. Should we start the meeting? Because some of the people aren't here yet. I said, I don't care. Start now. The people who are here shouldn't be penalized for waiting for people who couldn't make it. Follow me? We all hate that. Don't you hate waiting 10 or 15 minutes for somebody to show up? Right? Hey, I'm here on time. Why can't we start this thing? It's not my fault they didn't show up. And that's how a lot of people feel. So start your meeting on time, end it on time. And you know what? People will start requesting you because they love to be on time. They love the meeting to start on time. They love the meeting to end on time because they've got other stuff they have to do. And if you tell them it's 3 to 4 o'clock, they don't want to be there till 3:45. At 4:01, they're counting, oh, I thought this was supposed to end. At 4:15, they're like, oh, this is crazy. At 4:30, they hate you. Stay on time. All right. Number 5, it's a meeting. You need to have an agenda. You need to have a moderator. You need to have a timekeeper. You need to have a note taker. The agenda person should have gone out in advance so everybody knows what we're talking about. The moderator keeps things on track, right? Because I get squirreled all the time. It's like, oh, I start taking off and talk about something way over there. Moderator says, Steve, we were talking about this. I go, oh, yeah, that's right, right? The timekeeper says, Steve, on your agenda, you said you're going to take 10 minutes to talk about this, 20 minutes to talk about that, 8 minutes to talk about this, and they keep you on track, right? And then the note taker, how many times have you had to look over to the chat window to try and read something? You know, those chats are really small. You're like, what does that say? I think, Barbara was asking a question. See, we don't want that. You want your note taker to take the note, put it in big letters, slide it in underneath you, and then we are off and running. Make sense? Does that make sense? I hope so. And so what I want you to start doing then is looking at number 6. It says, you started with a purpose. Stay on it and with an action plan. What? Here's what we wanted to accomplish, and here's the action we want you to take at the end. Does that make sense? Always work on your action plan. And so down at the bottom then, we've got call to action. Call to action. What are the key things you want your audience to come away with? I want you to come away with some absolutely great tips on how to be a better virtual presenter. I want you to practice some of these tips. I want you to practice your face in the mirror so that you know what you're happy and sad and all the other faces say. I want you to practice your vocal intonation. I want you to practice whispering. I want you to practice energy and excitement without having to yell into your microphone. I want you to do all these things, you see, and I want you to get good at this. So if you need to hire me, great. I'd love to work with you. I got a 6-week program on the virtual certification so you can get trained on how to be the best virtual presenter. But remind them at the end, tell them what they need to take action on and ask them to take that action. Notice I said ask, 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 ask. If I ask you to take action, right? People say, tell them what to do, Steve. Nope. I'm a believer in if I ask you to take that action. So if you've gained something from this, I want you to take the action of dropping me an email and saying, thanks, Steve. I really appreciated your 14 tips, right? That's all you got to do. Now, you can make it bigger accolades. If you do me a video presentation, I'll put it on my website. Make sure you include your name and your title so that you can get recognition. Hi, I'm Steve Sapato, the most famous, unfamous speaker in America. And I was just watching Steve Sapato's 14 tips to be a great virtual presenter. Man, can that guy present? I really like how he presents the 14 tips. I learned a ton, and I'm going to implement them. And thanks a lot, Steve Sapato. You're the very best. You see, who wouldn't want to put that on their website? Of course, we want to put it on our website. And so all I want you to remember is I am Steve Sapato, most famous, unfamous speaker in America. Here's my LinkedIn. Here's my website. Here's my email. Here's my phone. And if you need to get in touch with me, well, obviously that's how you do it. I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope these 14 things really helped you. And if there's anything I can do, please let me know. Have a great day. God bless.